We're live. Hope everybody's doing okay. Kyle here. This is being recorded. Ladies and gentlemen, my special guest, Mr. Kyle Hebert. Oh, there we go. There we go. Hey,
Hey,
how you doing
hi.
tonight?
Doing good. Doing good. I've been busy going to conventions for the past few months, like every weekend,
Oh,
and I've had
oh yeah.
only a little bit of downtime in between, so I'm exhausted, but in a good
Oh
way.
yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for allowing me your time to give you an interview. I actually just came back from a con. I went to the Comic Con, met Linda Young and Cynthia Grants.
Oh, congrats. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome set of guests there, for sure.
Oh yeah, it was pretty fun. So on to the questions. How's it like playing Gohan Black in Sparking Zero?
Pretty epic. It's something that I didn't know was coming down the pike, and with Damon Mills, voice of Frieza, directing the game,
Hmm.
uh, we kind of approached the material and said, okay, so Goku Black is a little prim and proper and everything like that. So what do we want to do? We don't necessarily want to go British, but something a little more refined, I guess.
Yeah.
So I kind of just ended up, maybe unintentionally, kind of channeling my Aizen from Bleach into into that performance, and the response has been off the charts.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's has loved the performance and loved all that, and it's like, man, I wish it was playable. It's like, I hope so too. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a whole another year of content that's going to be dropping, so hopefully
Oh, definitely.
we'll be able to see that happen. But
I
you
know.
know,
I know when I played the game, I was just like when I saw where you can defeat Frieza, I'm like, oh, I wonder how this would change Gohan Black. Huh? Just
right?
change the entire story.
Yeah, with Xenoverse and all these other games with the what if scenarios and everything, it's been really neat to see where because the what if's awesome for Marvel and Elseworlds is awesome for DC. It's like, hey, what if? And for Dragon Ball, it's obviously a hit. You know,
Oh, oh yeah. I did seem to notice with the future Gohan, he seems like more depressed with future Gohan because he's been going through the death of his friends from the androids and trying to train up Trunks. You know, did you kind of like trying to come up with words, uh, give that depressed vibe for the future Gohan?
um, I have to just work with whatever the material calls for.
Yeah.
I'm a blank slate when I get to the session, so the director informs me about generally what's happening in the scene. And in the cases of games, we rarely have a visual element to go with it. But obviously, with the what if stuff, we actually did have some footage and everything. So usually with anime dubs, you're matching lip sync and everything. And I believe with Sparking Zero, we had a case um, of where the video was done, but they had the ability, the budget rather, to reanimate the mouth to match what sound activated, I guess, by the audio
Yeah.
that we're generating. So it wouldn't just like, hopefully it matches,
Oh
as
yeah.
some games do.
All right. Well, how about let's talk about this right here, Beast Gohan.
Beast is
What was it like?
best.
Beast is best. What was it like coming back, playing Gohan in Dragon Ball Superhero, and getting to find out Gohan's getting a new form? What was that experience for you?
It's been a long time coming. Gohan has been nerfed for over 2 decades, ever since facing off with the ultimate hard hitting line, fight you? No, I want to kill you. And then, like, what? And you think it's gonna go hard, and then suddenly it's kind of a left turn, and like, well, I'm gonna go study now, guys. Like,
People
what?
will make people will make clips. Like there's a clip in Dragon Ball Super where you said that I have a new goal for this form. I want to extend this form past Super Saiyan. That kind of like basically teased it when you think about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Unbelievable. I'm just so blessed that I get to go on the journey with wherever the character's going, and I'm grateful. And rest in peace, Akira Toriyama. Who basically kind of confirmed that the beast form is stronger than all other Super Saiyan power ups. So I'm like, yay, it's canon.
Oh
It's not
yeah,
just hearsay.
yeah. That is something we will get back to later. But what's it
Sure.
like working in anime voice acting? Like you've been doing this for so many years. What's it like voicing in anime?
24 years. I tell you, I'm living my dream because I've always wanted to do voice acting for animated stuff. I'm hoping to crack into like the cartoon stuff, the domestic animated stuff, which is recorded very differently. You record with a whole cast and then it's animated. Anime is
Yeah.
reverse. It's animated first and then dubbed. It's even dubbed in Japanese after it's animated. So if you say, "Oh, I like the Japanese performance better," it's like actually that's still a dub. It just happens to be dubbed in, the country of origin in that case. I love the challenge of trying to match the lip sync and give a convincing performance, and hopefully do the performer the story justice and help spread the story to an English speaking audience, or those that may have difficulty reading subs and
Yeah.
appreciating the animation at the same time.
Yeah. So originally, before you were Gohan, you were the original narrator for Dragon Ball Z. What was that like before going into Gohan?
Well, let's see. I think I'm the third narrator on Dragon Ball Z. Started with Doc Harris, who unfortunately passed away, I think, a week or two
Yeah.
ago, the
Yeah.
original OG from the Canadian English dub.
Hmm.
Then came Dale Kelly, who is also known from the Ginyu Force and everything. He was the narrator for a good bit, all the way from the beginning of the Funimation dub up through partway through the Cell Saga, I believe. And then he left for whatever reason. I'm not sure why. And they asked me to kind of come in and give a read for it, which I was thrilled to do because in the late '90s I was already a fan of Dragon Ball Z, even though we only had the Vancouver dub. I would like imitate Doc Harris, like next time on Dragon Ball Z. Fast forward to 2000, 2001. Suddenly I'm the guy doing that. It's like the monster truck tractor pull. Initially we were trying to voice match it, and then it slowly kind of morphed into my own thing. And I wish I could have still did it through Dragon Ball Z Kai and Super and all that, but when we did Kai, I had moved to LA, and remote recording wasn't really a thing as it is now. I would have
Yeah.
had to fly back every week at my own dime, and it's just not worth it. Anime doesn't pay a lot of money,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So they thought, well, every Dragon Ball saga has its own narrator. Bryce Armstrong with Dragon Ball, ultimately myself on Z, Andrew Chandler on GT, and then they got a Dallas area DJ who I actually used to hear growing up in the '70s, Doc Morgan, who has
Hmm.
done Kai and he has done Super. So he also took over the narration stuff for the movies and or the games as well. And I had started doing the narration for the games and the earlier movies. But yeah, I wish I could come back to it because a lot of people, they come to my booth at the conventions and they're like, "I didn't know you were that guy." Like, yeah, it's like I'm that guy.
Yeah. So besides the anime voice acting, you also play a video game character known as Ryu in Street Fighter. What is that
Oh
like
yeah,
playing Ryu?
iconic. Street Fighter, Ryu, iconic game franchise. I used to lose a lot of quarters and tokens back in the day in the arcade before consoles kind of took over the world. Street Fighter 4 was the first time we had English voices in there, and I got on the audition list through New Generation Pictures, the dubbing studio, basically that we've done many other projects for. So I was on the audition list already, and I went into the studio. Had to sign an NDA just to try out. Normally, we sign NDAs after we record, but this was like so secretive from Capcom's perspective. So as soon as I saw the scripts to read for, they said just pick whoever you want to read for, just multiple. So I was like, I recognized it as soon as I saw the pictures. Like, oh, I'm definitely going to read for Ryu. I'm going to read for Ken. I want to read for E Honda and M Bison. And oh, they have new characters. Oh, El Fuerte. Sure, I'll give it a shot. And then I read for it. And a couple months later, I'm at a con. Taliesin Jaffe, who people might now know from Critical Role, he was the director on Street Fighter 4 and 5, and Blanca, the original Blanca. And we saw each other at a con. He goes, "Congrats, man! You got the man." I go, "What? Who's the man?" He's
Just
like, "You're the man. You're our
just a big
Ryu."
shocker.
Big shocker. And this is a year before it came out. A lot of people don't realize when we're doing games, especially localizing them from Japanese, it could take up to a year or longer to do that because the animation gets done, the graphics, the script morphs. Sometimes they have to redo things, retakes, and do what are called pickup sessions. So every few months, I might get a call say, "Hey, we have some more Ryu for you. Come in and do some alternate stuff, and we'll record the talky stuff first, and then the like, Hadouken, Shoryuken, and all that vocally stressful stuff afterwards because they know you're going to run the risk of blowing your voice out." But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I have been blessed so many times through the years being a part of tentpole franchises in anime and now in games. I mean, I've been various bit parts in Final Fantasy. I've been zombies in Resident Evil, but to become an iconic playable character in such a known game, not everyone necessarily knows anime, but almost everyone knows Street Fighter. So amazing, amazing. Another life changer. And another reason Ryu is so important to me is he got to have a cameo in Disney's Wreck-It Ralph. So,
Oh,
hey, I didn't have to be a big movie star like the big Disney, Pixar, DreamWorks movies always have big movie stars do all the roles. Well, at least they had cameos from the actual voices. So you had Roger Craig Smith, who's Sonic, and you had me and Ruben Langdon, the original Ken, and we got to do that. Ken from the games.
yeah.
Skip Stelrek was in the Street Fighter 2 animated movie back in the day. So much props to every voice actor who has performed on the franchise. But from a gaming perspective, yeah, Disney, uh, good on them for not stunt casting with like, here,
Oh
let's
yeah.
have Tom Cruise be Ryu. Like, first of all, we're a lot cheaper, and then like again, a tick on the bucket list. It's like, hey, I want to say I'm on a Disney movie that was also a huge hit. It's awesome, and it was nominated for Best Picture that year,
Oh
Best
wow.
Animated Picture.
Yeah.
So yeah, it
So
feels awesome.
yeah, so with Dragon Ball Superhero, you got to work with Charles Martinet, the voice actor for Magenta, and he also does Mario and other characters from Nintendo. What was it like working with him? Because I'm pretty sure that was kind of like a nostalgia factor working with him, who voiced many characters, probably from your childhood as well.
Yeah, and I had not had a chance to meet him until I believe we were on the red carpet or orange carpet rather for Superhero, and bringing it back to something I said earlier, when we record anime, it's not like with a cast, like with an animated cartoon. We have to record individually for dubs. So I did not
Hmm.
actually technically work with anybody on the cast,
Yeah.
but I did see him, and I've seen him at conventions since then. And, it's always a quick interaction and much props. He's a very tall guy. He's a lot taller than you would think. And it's like he's super friendly and, of course, iconic. So it's great. And, it was a really good catch to say, hey, let's get the voice of Mario involved in Dragon Ball. It's like, I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah. So besides Dragon Ball video games, you got to play a huge villain in one of the big three, Aizen from Bleach. What was it like playing him?
Playing an iconic villain in another tentpole franchise, it's another achievement. I feel like I've just won the lottery. He doesn't have as much screen time as Ichigo, of course, but he's still around. We've got this final arc of Thousand Year Blood War. Um, the subtitle version is running on Hulu, and then the English dub will be coming shortly. And I'm super stoked to get to come back. And I started that role back in 2006. I was also Ganju Shiba. He's popped up in Thousand Year Blood War as well. So we're getting to come back and revisit those characters. Um, A lot of people call him the GOAT as far as anime villains, and it's like I'm
Oh yeah,
honored. I'm honored that I've gotten to be a part of that. And what's nice about Eisen is he's always calm and level-headed and very seductive almost in the things, and he's super manipulative and narcissistic. And some fans will say, what if Escanor from Seven Deadly Sins met Eisen? Who's more narcissistic and arrogant? It's like, I don't know, let's have an ego off. I don't know.
that is my next question. Was it like playing Escanor in Seven Deadly Sins? Because I remember when I first started watching it and I saw Escanor, he was big, little screen, like, he might be useless. And then it comes out in the sun, he gets big, like, oh my God. So what's it like playing Escanor?
Another awesome one and that one I did not have to audition for. Bang Zoom Studios actually came up to me and they said, we got someone that we think you would be great for. And this is a two-parter because he has a nighttime form and a daytime form. He's like this this timid sort of bartender type in the nighttime. Oh my gosh. And then as soon as the sun comes, who decided that? The lion sin of pride. So again, feeling epic. I had no idea Seven Deadly Sins had such a rabid fandom. Unbelievable. And I still haven't had a chance, believe it or not. Not enough hours in the day to watch everything I'm a part of or play all the games I'm in. But everyone just, they love that. And so many people have come up to me and talked to me on social media and come to convention appearances and said, dude, that's my favorite sin. I've seen tattoos. I've seen the Divine Axe Rita prop that's like it's heavy. It's like a legit weapon. It's like it's so cool. I've signed all these things and seen the tats and seen amazing cosplay. Again, super proud that I got to be such an awesome character.
That's right. You also got the voice Kiba in Naruto.
Hmm.
That series is over 20 years old now. What's it like
Yeah,
playing him? Because there's still video games out for him. I'm pretty sure there'll be some
sure.
more, with Boruto coming out. What was it like playing Kiba?
Kiba is a lot of fun. I wish he had more screen time. The side characters, they might become the focus on some of the filler eps, but then again, most fans are turned off by filler because there's so much of it. But I've seen a lot of love from fans over the years. I got so excited when I got cast that I went to the local anime shop that I live close by in LA, and they had a plushie of Kiba with little Akamaru on him. It's like I immediately got it. And I have nerded out buying all the merch through the years of all characters from all the shows and games that they make Funko Pops for, or statues, or figurines, or you know, uh, shirts, wall scrolls, all the merch. I go nuts over that stuff. I love to have it. It means a lot to me personally. And yeah, another cool thing, when people say, "Hey, it sounds like Gohan," it's like, yeah, that's my natural speaking voice. Of course, he sounds the same. Like let's go, Akamaru, Fang over Fang. Epic.
You know, and then there was another character, but it's not my personal favorite, but he's one of the best characters in the series. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure,
Yeah,
Kakyoin. What was it
yeah.
like playing him?
I had no idea that when I first saw the meme of the cherry licking, like "Dido, dido, 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 dido," I saw all that. And it's like, what is that? And then about a year or so later, I'm suddenly I'm cast. I don't believe I auditioned. I think they just gave me the role again through Bang Zoom Entertainment and the great Tony Oliver directing on that. And I said, "What is this show?" I said, "It earns its name." He goes, "Yep." And when you play on such wild storylines, all I can say is, "Oh, Japan." But Kakyoin, yeah, yeah, definitely quirky for sure. Like no one can deflect the emerald splash. But my favorite line that I got to say is him. It's like, "I don't care if you're a baby. I'll snap your neck like a twig."
I was just about to ask about that too.
Yeah.
It's just, there's so many people meme about it, and then it was like, I wonder how he feels after saying that.
It took several times to do the thing without laughing. But the baby line just hit so hard. it's, and I didn't know that the end of the thing, I guess we could avoid spoilers, that the story was going to end the way it did with his character. I had no idea, but what a great run. And again, blew me away how much support and rabid fandom is for JoJo. Every season, just people are just super stoked to have that, and it continues on to this day. And I wish I had a chance to audition for others, but because Kakyoin was such a major part of one arc, Stardust Crusaders, I probably won't have another chance. But I will celebrate how lucky that I've been to play in JoJo.
Oh yes. You also played in one of the big animes today in One Piece. Please forgive me, I forgot his name, but he's the mafia boss captain in One Piece. What is it like playing him? I'm sorry, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, Capone Beji.
Yep, that's
So
him.
basically, I'm channeling this celebrity from a long time ago. He's still around. His name's Tony Danza, and he used to be on a sitcom called "Who's the Boss?" Hey, Angela, he's got this Brooklyn sort of thing going on. So I basically do that for him. And Capone is awesome because he's got the fortress inside his chest and everything. Because One Piece, another you look insane when you try to describe it kind of shows. Um, but yeah, I have played him throughout the years. I've also voiced King Cobra throughout the years um, from the Alabasta arc, and I think he might be coming back around again too. So it's like
Oh
just when I
yeah,
think I'm done, years, literally years will pass, and it's like, hey, guess who's back? Like, what? Really? I
yeah,
got more One Piece to do. It's like cool. I'm used to getting called in to voice various background pirates and whatnot and everything. But to get a recurring character again on a huge tentpole show
yeah.
that I will never start because there's too many episodes. But who knows?
It's
They are
okay.
reanimating
Like,
some of it, aren't they? Maybe I'll
yeah,
watch that version.
they're reanimating. Well, I know they're with Whip Studios. They are reanimating the first part of the series all the way through Alabasta, I believe, and now they did a remaster animation with
Oh,
the Sabaody Archipelago arc. So I know they just started doing that. So
okay.
that's pretty big. And plus, the manga is still going. People's been saying, "Oh, it's the last arc." Like it's still going. It's never going to end.
Yeah, just when I thought, oh yeah, case closed or Detective Conan, it's like, oh, that's the pinnacle, that's the long running one. It's like, is One Piece have even more than Conan slash Detective Conan, or Case Closed as it was known in the early 2000s at Funimation? I was on that dub too. So,
Yeah. So besides anime, besides all of that, I see on some of your videos and some live streams, you wear like AEW shirts. I might have seen you wear a WWE shirt. Do you like wrestling and all that
I'm
type of stuff?
a casual fan. I was more into it probably a decade ago. I got into watching WWE when I saw New Day dressed as Saiyans at
Oh yeah.
WrestleMania. I go, wow, wrestlers are anime fans? So I started
Oh yeah.
following WWE.
Like here recently, I went to go to Nashville and bought this thing.
Nice.
It took a lot of money, but it's worth it. And been major for me. I got to also meet Cody Rhodes here recently,
Oh,
which was
that's awesome.
awesome. Yeah, it was at
Yeah,
the
yeah.
meet and
And
greet.
yeah. I was following WWE, and I thought they started getting stale. And then AEW kicked off, and I watched that, and I was a big Jericho fan. So seeing him come over, and I actually know Sammy Guevara. He's a big Dragon Ball fan, so we kind of fanboyed out over each other. I sent him
Yeah.
some swag. He sent me some swag. Uh, he got all the Dragon Ball merch. He's a new dad, so he's dressing up his kiddo in Dragon Ball outfits
Oh
and
man.
all that fun stuff. But I usually just kind of keep up by just following their YouTube channels with the
That's
highlight clips.
that's
Yeah.
fair. See, when I went it's literally last month,
Mhm.
we went to Nashville. We were right there. Got to see Cody Rhodes. We got to see who else we get to see. We got to see the Bloodline, the Solo and them. It's just wrestling. I think is back because Triple H has taken over it now.
Yeah. Yeah, and
So,
and and from what I understand, WWE's really turned things around, and I'm glad that it's not a monopoly anymore. Other people having competition helps each other products work harder to become better, and who wins? The fans.
mhm.
So,
So
I
like
want to.
fun fact, early this year for WrestleMania, it wasn't supposed to be Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. It was supposed to be The Rock versus Roman Reigns. The fans didn't
Oh,
want that. The fans didn't want that, so they listened to the fans. Like, okay, give him Cody.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very, very cool.
Yeah. So besides all that, what's your favorite thing to do besides the cons and when you're at home? What do you like to do for
Well,
hobbies?
I do enjoy doing live streams and chatting with the fans. I usually do that on TikTok, and I run my music through a mixer and everything. So I'm blasting. I'm a metalhead, so I play a lot of metal music and do Q&As and have people, come on and it's like, hey, say the line. So I'll quickly do that and answer questions about voice acting in general. I'm a big movie nerd. I love movies. I'm a 4K steelbook addict. I collect a lot of stuff. I love sci-fi, horror, action. Um, yeah, collecting memorabilia. I collect vinyl albums. Again, I did that as a kid because I'm 55. I grew up in the 70s. This is before the internet. So I was listening to albums on the turntable, and then we went to the cassette phase. Then we went to CD, and then MP3, and then vinyl came back around again, and CDs and cassettes are big again in a retro, nostalgic sort of way.
Yeah.
So
I
I,
don't
I love music and media. Yeah.
I don't mean to make you feel old, but I'm only 20 and I've started doing collecting vinyl. You're to my second person I get to interview. Last week I get to interview Miss Stephanie Nandale.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome. I
Yeah.
actually got her. I got her to sign my Dragon Ball Daima shirt over there. I got Linda Kranz, Sonny Strat. I've got a lot in my other room. I have tons of statues and pops in there, and just
Yeah.
collecting what I like. And people, my uncle's like, "Why do you collect those?" Like, because I like them.
Yeah, why does anybody collect anything? You got people that are, wear war paint to football games. It's like there's nothing wrong with that. People love what they love and they should be able to celebrate it without, getting bullied or harassed or whatever. So, it's cool to be a nerd nowadays. It used to not be
Oh yeah.
considered a cool thing, but I'm glad that people have turned around on that.
Oh yeah. Because I'm only a year and a half out of high school, and I didn't know what I really wanted to do. And again, I thank you for your time doing this with me. And it's just found what I want to do and doing interviews. And man,
Tell
it's
you,
kind of like a
social
dream come true.
media. I'm also a big lover of social media. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of negatives too, but I think it's a brilliant way to for people and creative people to create content without having to approach movie studios and TV studios and work their way up that way. They can create their own stuff from the get-go and have an audience. The potential for a huge audience is right there because your audience is right there on their phone and you can reach the world. All you need is the internet connection, and like
Oh yeah.
you're blasting in real time.
Yeah, because I went through because with the last interview, I posted clips. I have live stream up on my page, on my YouTube, my Spotify. My series is called the Pop Culture Interview. I had to make sure to deep dive. No one has that name, so I don't get copyrighted or anything like that.
Yes.
So the series is called Pop Culture Interview. So far on Spotify, I got about 10 plays, which is not bad, but across all social media, about 20,000 views with that interview. So
Well,
that's
I
a
think
big help for me.
a good thing to remember is stay consistent with it. Stick to it. Don't get depressed if the numbers aren't where you want to see them at,
Oh yeah.
because consistency is key to building an audience. If they like that content, they're going to come back. They're going to tell their friends about it. The whole word of mouth and social media posts. That's the best free kind of advertising there is.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because I told a lot of people from my work, like, okay, I'll go check it out. A YouTuber I watch, Nanogenics, he does a lot of mobile game content, Dragon Ball content. I sent a message to him saying, hey, I got to interview Stephanie Nandale, and tomorrow I get to interview Kyle Hebert. He's like, oh, that's cool. I had to check that out. So that's pretty big for knowing a YouTuber, but I love to watch is going to check out my content. So
That's
that's
a good
key
deal.
for me.
Good deal. Yeah. Yeah. Just get on all the platforms. Get on YouTube. Get on X. Get on Insta. Get on everywhere you can because there's some people that are on one platform but not on another. So you just blast it everywhere.
Yeah. So on besides that, here recently you've been coming out with videos of people saying in your chat, oh, say this, say that. One is saying, oh, what the Sigma as Gohan. So what was your reaction to looking at that comment like, you know what? Let me please the fans. Just say the line.
Yeah. Just say the line and just make sure that it's not like secretly like offensive or something. It's like I have to have a Google browser open. It's like I got to make sure I'm not offending someone's or sensitivities or whatnot. It's like what the Sigma? Who put Cell on my Xbox? I get a lot of requests for those too.
Yeah, man, that's just when I oh Logan Chip would just say is look what this thing what's it Logan and which what's it like playing in video games like because like you say you don't have to watch flaps so often. Is recording for video games easier for you, or do you prefer voicing in the animes?
Well, I love it all. I can say that games pay way more, but you don't have the challenge of seeing the finished product and matching the lip sync, and I enjoy that challenge. Uh, with games, you're literally looking at an Excel spreadsheet or a script in Word doc on an iPad, basically. And either way, you're depending on the director to catch you up on what the storyline is, what your character's motivations are, and everything. And I love the challenge in voiceover. That's why it's exciting to me, and it's never a dull moment. I know that every new session is going to be a new set of challenges. Like, oh, what do I get to do today? And I also do some directing too. I direct a couple mobile games that are now on iOS and Android. It's been out for a few years. I've been directing on Mobile Legends Bang Bang and Watcher of Realms. So I get to be on the other side of the booth, calling the shots and getting these actors to work and everything. So yeah, if you had asked me when I was 8 years old what my future would look like, I definitely would not say, "Hey, I'm at this place in my life where I'm voicing things that I started as a fan of, and now I get to travel the world." And meet people around the world, and I'm collecting merch of things that I get to hear my voice on, and living my dream, man, literally.
Yeah. So, was it like work going to cons? What was your favorite thing to do? To meeting the people, see
Absolutely.
what stuff they bring, walking around, who else is there, what vendors are there. What's your favorite thing to do at a
You know
con?
what well, I usually I am sitting at my table for 99% of it outside of doing a panel or whatnot. But what I really, really appreciate is when people come up and share their stories about the impact that the show has had on them or the game or whatnot. And when they say things like, it really helped me through a tough time, or it inspired me to do what I'm doing now, or I love this so much that I showed it to my family or my wife or my kids turned me on to this stuff because they love it so much. Seeing that fandom and the effect that it has on people, I'm just one cog in the giant wheel of moving parts that helps create this great artwork landscape for multimedia and everything, and actors just one part of the puzzle. But man, that is just cool. It's great to say. My favorite thing to say is I'm making a living doing what I love.
Yes. Because I would say this, without you and all the rest of Dragon Ball cast, helping make Dragon Ball come out for the US, my life's definitely changed because big shout out to my friend Marquise, I'm pretty sure he's your big friend, Travis and Marquise, I consider my brothers. We've been friends for a long time. They kind of inspired me to help doing this. And, with Dragon Ball, it just became huge,
Yeah.
especially with, after Kira Toriyama's passing and Diamond coming out for his final project. So, yeah, and that on to the next question. Earlier this year, we lost Kira Toriyama due to the acute subthermal. I can't remember the name of it, but what was your reaction when you heard the news?
It definitely came out of nowhere. He's an intensely private person. I never had a chance to meet him. I think he only came to the US when Shonen Jump launched in English back in 2001. I think Chris Sabat and Sean Schemmel might have met him, but I never had a chance to thank him for making my life possible, my career path just really take off. Being connected in a way, and I've seen that different fandoms and popular things may fade, trends come and go, but Dragon Ball has always been there as a constant pulse. And whether it's anime, movies, games, um, the merchandise, seeing walking into Target and Walmart and Hot Topic and Spencer's Gifts and FYE and places like that, and seeing that stuff still readily available on the shelves. That's amazing. I wish I had the chance to thank him for being able to tell amazing stories with characters that really resonate with people of all backgrounds, of all ages, and it continues to do that.
Yeah, it is. big shout out to him. I'm trying to think of another question because I've not been through all the questions. Oh no, I haven't. What was it like working in Dragon Ball Z back then before Kai came out? And what was it like working back then with Funimation?
Well, back at Funimation, which is now Crunchyroll, we used to use they used to have offices out of a bank building. I'd travel across town to almost Fort Worth, between Dallas and Fort Worth, and I basically grew up in Dallas. I was there my much of my adult life until 2005 when I moved out here to LA. Um, Again, we would see other actors in passing, as my session ends and another one starts, or maybe another project in the booth over. We don't record together. We have to match the lip sync. It's such a technical thing. So I would literally see just Chris Sabat and the engineer for the most part. But it's so fun. Everyone's so professional yet laid back and friendly and hilarious. So we have, hours of outtakes of us blowing lines and stuff that are all this great audio blackmail sitting on the hard drives up there. We had so much fun. And to be, part of that when it was first just becoming this blitz of popularity on Cartoon Network and Toonami, and all these kids would come home and watch the shows, and then they grow up and then they have fans or family of their own, and now they're coming to the cons still and they're saying, man, I remember that, I grew up on that. Or some even say, I don't watch Dragon Ball anymore, but I understand and I totally acknowledge and respect its impact because I used to watch it all the time and it meant a lot. And it's just such a cool thing. Not everyone gets to say that they're a part of something that has worldwide popularity, or that has a balloon in the Macy's Thanksgiving parade. There's Goku got an upgrade. He's got an all new balloon in the parade.
Well, now Gohan has a new balloon in the parade. Well, no, wait, hold up, excuse me. New form, I mean, new form. New form is way stronger than Goku and Vegeta
There you
with the
go.
Ultra Ego and Ultra Ego and Ultra Instinct.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, you were very happy that Gohan is stronger than both of them. With Piccolo also getting a new form, I had the Orange Piccolo popping back. Um,
Awesome.
what's one of the main questions you get asked in a Q&A panel on the con?
Uh, um, what's your favorite character? And when you're an actor and you have a bunch of roles under your wing, it's like picking a favorite child. It's it's hard to say, but I can definitely acknowledge that Gohan started my career, and it's come full circle now with the success of Sparking Zero. Um, it's just wild. I didn't think I would be a part of something that I was a fan of and I continue to be a fan of. I wish I had time to sit down and just binge all of it from beginning to end, but it just, when you have two adults, it's a little hard. But I'm still so grateful that I get to talk to people who do have the time to watch it.
Yeah. So you say you have been doing this for 24 years. What is the best advice that you can give to future voice actors who want to pursue that career?
Well, I tell you, a lot of people think voice acting is just doing voices, and it's really about the acting part. There's a great website full of awesome advice called iwanttobeavoiceactor.com. And basically it goes into more detail over focusing on being a good actor. Taking classes now is easier than ever to get training over Zoom. A lot of great working actors are also coaching and helping people discover what they're best at, and hone their craft and get to the part where they're ready to record a demo. And then once that demo's done, they can start circulating that around, sending it out to talent agents and casting directors, and you know uh, joining social media groups. There's all sorts of Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the social medias have great Discord. Also have a bunch of beginner voice acting groups where people can kind of just network and get to know each other as a community and help each other. casting call club, all these opportunities to work. Yeah, most of them are unpaid or low pay, but you got to start somewhere and then work your way up and hopefully get to the point where you can make a living and make some investments in some equipment and have a good home recording setup, because now it is possible to record remotely anywhere around the world. You don't necessarily have to be where the work is. But I tell you, if you want to do anime, you really do. I would say you really need to be in Dallas if you want to get to work at Crunchyroll, or if you want to be on some of the shows that we do out here in Los Angeles, like Demon Slayer and all that. Um, you really got to be here so the directors and casting people can see you face to face, meet you, and get to work with you and see what your dynamic is, how professional you are, how dedicated you are to your craft, and not just say, "Hey, I'm a fan of anime. I want to do voices because my friends and family said I can sound just like Vegeta." It's not about doing impressions. All those roles are cast. What do you bring to the table? And that's
Hmm.
what you're going to learn through taking the acting classes. So again, highlight the website I want to be a voice actor.com.
Yeah. I also know Steve Blum, man who does Wolverine and Spike from Cowboy Bebop. He has his own voice acting class too.
Sure does. Sure does. Bloomvox Studios, great community of people starting out. He has guests all the time that kind of guest direct, and it's a hybrid of a Q&A panel and getting to work with and be directed by people that have been in the industry for many years. I hope to get to be on there someday. He's the person that opened doors for me when I moved to Los Angeles from Texas. We met each other when I was still in Dallas, and I was like fanboying out, like, I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy. But he's so humble and down to earth and kind and just a fantastic, genuine soul who cares about people. So he really helped me. He introduced me to who is now my agent. We have the same voiceover agent. He passed my demo along to studios. So because of that connection, I got to be on Naruto and Bleach through the studio called Studiopolis. He introduced me to Bang Zoom, which I've done many, many projects through. So yeah, it's been an amazing journey thanks to knowing who I know. You get to meet him through circumstances that you can't predict. You never know where you're going to end up, but have an open mind, because you may have opportunities that you never anticipated and take you down paths that are just as exciting, if not more exciting.
Yeah. So earlier you mentioned you saying when you go live and when you do videos, you have music playing,
Yeah,
specifically heavy metal, like metal music. What what bands you like to listen to? Who do you like to listen to?
I like listening to a lot of metal stuff like Lamb of God. I got turned on to Lorna Shore recently. I've been a lifelong, not lifelong because I'm as old as the members of the band, but Tool, big fan of Tool. Um, I like some experimental electronica from like Nine Inch Nails. Um, golly, so many. And then I think TikTok is great for music discovery. Hearing a little snippet of a song and go, hey, that sounds catchy. I'm going to look it up on, a lot of people have Spotify. I use Apple Music, and I'll listen and start following bands, follow their accounts that they're dropping little snippets of songs. It's like, this is cool. This is epic.
Yeah. I do know on TikTok, there's like if you can sign on in from your Spotify or Apple Music, you can add the music with a little tab, or you can just tap on the song, add it through there. And Miss 79 does here. She's also done music.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She's done.
When I met her when I first came on board at Funimation, I met her and she's always been super sweet. She's great, and I'm super happy for her that she's got to come back to Kid Goku for Daima. Yes, exactly. And of course, the first three episodes in English are going to be in theaters November
I'm
10th,
definitely
11th,
going
and
to that
12th.
actually.
So
I
get those tickets now.
fathomevents.com. Uh,
Fathomevents.com.
yeah, that's another question I need to ask. What was it like last year, New York Comic Con, hearing the news that Dragon Ball's getting a new series, Dragon Ball Daima? Like, what was your reaction to that?
I was pretty excited. I thought for sure it was going to be more super. I know the fans, that's what they want. And unfortunately, there's no news on that front about Super coming back in animated form yet. And I know that because Toriyama passed away, unfortunately, the manga's on hold for now, but it will come back.
Hmm.
If I had to guess, and I think it makes the most sense, finish out the manga and then do the anime. That way you don't have to do any filler.
That's
Yeah,
fair. I think that's
yeah,
what it's like for JoJo because JoJo came out way before. Well, I know they had OVA before the recent JoJo, but
yeah.
then after that, for a while they didn't have no filler or anything. So that was big. That's a big one up for JoJo.
Sure.
And One Piece, I know they don't have any filler.
There's so much of the
No,
manga.
no,
How
it
could
does
you
have
not?
filler. There's so much of the manga. Another good one. Helsing has this came out years before they got the anime.
Yep. Did some bit part
So
voices on Helsing Ultimate. So yeah. Like people go, you're in that too? Like, what are you not in? It's like, well, I'm not in Code Geass. I'm not in Black Clover. I'm not in, but I'm in a lot,
yeah.
even if it's small.
So So people in chat and a lot of people on the internet is like, oh, where's Gohan and Daima? And I don't know if you can say anything about it, but like, do we hope to see Gohan and Daima?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen him in any of the trailers. It looks like it's focusing on a different set of the main cast as kids. So if they're actually kids, then they probably recast everybody for this particular storyline.
Yeah.
But I am excited. It is the final project of Toriyama, so it's bittersweet. I know that he poured his heart and soul into it, so I'm going to give it its proper respect, and I'm really glad that Fathom Events is bringing it to the big screen because seeing something that you love, a Dragon Ball event theatrically in a theater packed with fellow fans, you can't replicate that at home.
Yeah.
And your buddies watching on Discord and all that. You can't just replicate the excitement of, for example, seeing Superhero in IMAX and having Beast Gohan transform, and people are like, "Woo!" And they're cheering, and I'm getting chills for multiple reasons. It's like, I got to do that, and Gohan finally gets his due, and the fans are so hyped about it. It's so amazing.
I know when me and my buddies went to go see it in theaters, we're seeing a Dragon Ball movie in our local theater. It was awesome. We were there with other people at the theater, and we saw the Beast transformation. Like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh! Because I had previously watched it in the Japanese dub before it came out in English, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be huge. And then theater, first time hearing it in English, just like, yeah, it did it justice.
yeah. Yeah, and years can go by and the fandom never goes away. It's there. It's been the number one movie theatrically. I'm sure Hollywood's shaking their head going, What is this?"
Oh yeah, it did hit number one just out of nowhere because there was no that much promotional content for it. And then after it came out, it was like number one box office for like what, a week straight. So that was
Yeah.
a big huge dub for Dragon Ball fans.
Yeah, totally. And it feels great to be a part of it. And I'm going to do this character, and as long as they have me, as long as they call me, I'm not in charge of whether I voice it or not. They got to hire me, and I hope that they always do. I would love to come back because it has literally changed my life in the best possible way.
Yeah. Well, that's about all I have on here. Is there anything you would like to say to the fans and just what you can say for the future for going?
Sure. Well, obviously, pick up Sparking Zero if you haven't yet. It sold 3 million copies on day one. So if you're not playing it yet, your friends probably are. So go over their house and hop on board and then buy a copy for yourself. It's really, really awesome. Check out Daima with your friends in theaters. It's just 3 days, November 10th, 11th, and 12th. Very limited, but you'll get to see Daima in English for the first time. Um, and follow me on socials. I'm here on Insta. I'm sure I've been tagged, so follow me there. I'm on TikTok, Kyle Hebert VO. I'm on Insta, Kyle Hebert. I'm always plugging projects. I'm always plugging convention appearances. This weekend, I'm going to be up in Ontario, California for Anime Expo Chibi, and then NostalgiaCon in Houston the first weekend of December, and then that's it for this year for conventions. But I got like 25 lined up for next year. So hopefully I'll come to a town near you guys. And thank you so much for making my job possible. Couldn't do it without the fans. I'm so grateful to all of you.
All right. Well, that's about it for here. Thank you, Mr. Kyle
Thank you.
Hebert, for for the time for my second interview. Until next time, thank you all so much.
Peace out.